Hey everybody, this is William from the Godzilla Files coming at you today with a new X-Plus review, and today we're going to be looking at the newly released X-Plus 30cm Favorite Sculptors line, Godzilla 1962. That is going to be the last time you hear me say that whole entire title. It's so long. I am going to refer to this figure as Godzilla 62 from here on out. Now, this was just released. It was one of my most anticipated figures so far this year, so I'm really excited to review this guy. But before we do that, I first want to just kind of show off the box like I always do. And just like all the other 30cm boxes, this box is great. I love the cover. I really do like their colored covers. And as you can kind of see here, this is a Rick boy. So, we're going to be talking about the Rick features that came with him. There is a light up and one other extra special gift. But enough about the box. Let's jump right into this figure review. And here he is. As you can see, this is a great looking figure. Right off the bat, he definitely catches your eye. I think this is the best Godzilla 62 that X-Plus has done. And I did own the original 30cm, but I decided to double dip for this guy only because when I saw photos of him for the first time, something clicked. I really thought that this was the best looking version of that suit. And this is one of my favorite suits. So this figure does a couple of small things that I'm really happy about. The first is actually his hands. So you can see here that there's some white on his fingertips, and if you go back and look at the movie, he has this on his fingertips, and that was something that really bothered me about the first 30cm. And that sounds like nitpicking, but it really did irk me for whatever reason. So as weird as it sounds, seeing his hands have that color on him, I was really happy. It's a small little detail, but it goes a long way, at least for me. If you look here, the tail is massive, just like how it was in the movie, and also his dorsal plates. I love his dorsal plates. I think they're done perfectly. They are translucent because this is a Rick which does light up, and I'll kind of talk more about the light up feature in just a little bit. But even still, even though it is translucent, from far away it still looks good. It isn't so white that it looks a little off. They did kind of like a dirty look to him, and I think that's because this may be based off of when he's fighting Kong in the pit in their second battle, when Kong's behind him about to grab his tail. Looking at this guy, he's very dirty, and that's really the only time the suit was covered in dust or dirt in the movie. But I do like the dirt look to him. I think it adds a little bit more. This figure, just like the suit itself, looks good on some angles, but other times not. So you can see right now, I have a photo of him looking straight on, and he looks dumb. But also, if you go back and watch the movie, when it's a straight on shot, he looks dumb as well. So, you should really expect that, when you're looking at this guy. If you look at him from a certain angle, yeah, he might not look good, but that's also the way the suit was. So I think if you look at him, like this, you'll be fine. I think he looks perfect in that way. The other thing is, he is massive, and this is also part of the suit. You really can tell, especially in his thighs and his stomach, even his neck. This is a massive figure, and the reason why it's massive is because the suit was. I think they really hit it out of the park when it comes to all these little details about the suit, and that got translated onto this figure. You can even tell in the back, the actual suit is kind of going in. That was actually like that in the movie. But again, nice little details that you only find with X-Plus. So before I jump into the Rick features, there are some issues that I do have with him. They're mostly nitpicks. So the first is the tail stand. This seems to be a growing thing. I think nearly all the figures I get from X-Plus at this point have a tail stand. It is annoying, yes, because it does make it hard to find spots for him on the shelf. But if anyone is used to X-Plus at this point, you have to figure out a spot for him. So that's one issue. My only other issue with him is the fact that he's not a true 30cm figure. He comes in a little short. So if you have him next to other 30cm figures from X-Plus, he will be shorter. So just be aware of that when you're placing him. I've heard some people were annoyed by this and kind of frustrated, but it is what it is. It is a bit of an issue, in my opinion. I wish it was a true 30cm, but I'm not going to complain too much. He still looks good. Alright, so the first Rick Boy exclusive that I want to talk about is actually something I didn't think that was going to be that big of a hit, and that is the nameplate. So the nameplate here, if anyone kind of follows the X-Plus groups on Facebook, a lot of people have been asking for it, and originally I was like, it's just a nameplate, but now after kind of getting it and seeing it, there is a little bit of detail in here, which I was kind of surprised about, and I actually think it's really cool. I am going to be trying to find a 62 Kong. Once I get him, I can actually put these two guys together and have the nameplate in front of them, which I'm kind of excited about, and I hope they kind of do these for other ones, especially for display purposes. I think it would be a lot of fun to have these things. So this is not the only exclusive, and like most Rick Boys, he has a light up. So the battery pack is here, has the name of the figure on it and you just plug it in. And as you can kind of see in the photos that are going by, he lights up pretty well. Overall, I was very happy when I plugged him in for the first time and he didn't blow. I've heard horror stories about people finding that their lights don't work. Not with this figure, but in figures in the past, I should say. So I was very happy to see that my figure works pretty well. I don't see too much bleed through. You know, there are little spots here and there, but it's bright and I think it works really well. So my final thoughts on this guy is, in my opinion, this is the best looking 62 figure that you can find on the market. I would strongly recommend picking him up. You know, if you do have the original 30, you know, you really do have to look at it, but for me, this one is the better version. It just really does appear more like the suit in the film, but you can't go wrong either way. Alright everybody, let me know in the comments below what you think about this new X-Plus figure. Do you like him more than the original, or do you like the original more? Love to hear what your thoughts are about the two. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk with you all later.